Hi there. In this Tegrity, we will look a bit at memory and visualization and note-taking as mnemonic devices, and we will later do an interpreting exercise, first in English and then, first from English into Spanish and then from Spanish into English, and we will be practicing memory. And this recording you may use for future self-assessments, maybe for your skill development plan, for your first self-assessment. So now bear in mind that our brain can only retain between 5 and 9 elements at the same time. And for example, if I give you a phone number, you may be able to remember it, but it's going to be close to the maximum information you can hold. So, for example, if I give you the phone number 502-626-5873, can you remember it? Well, you may probably remember it because the local area code is already known to you, so there would only be 7 new elements. But if I gave you local area code that you do not know, you might have a harder time remembering it. For example, 803-794-5124. Can you remember it? You may not be able to because you have 10 elements to remember. If you can remember it, that means that you already have a pretty good memory, memorizing technique in place, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep working on it. Now, an important tool for you guys to remember is visualization, which is simply to try to see, using your mind's eye, the object or a picture of events or objects or people that are being described in the text, well, in the speech, and this way it's going to be easier to remember and understand and retain the content of an utterance. Now, there's a method called the chain method, which is done in visualization, and it basically says that you can try to exaggerate or maybe make things ridiculous in your mind. For example, things that are super small, or kind of you make something humongous in your memory. That's a good way to remember it. And then you can try to connect all the images together in a story. So you can do this, for example, starting with 5 simple words, and then with 10 or maybe 15. So let's just do a small little exercise. Now try to remember, I'm going to describe my office right now, so try to remember it all and try to put it all together into one image, and maybe you can make things bigger or in really kind of shiny colors in your minds to try to remember it better. So let me start the description. My room has 4 chairs. 2 of them are red and the other 2 are yellow. I have a small couch which is blue, and I also have a couple big tables. Of course, I've got my magnificent screen, keyboard and mouse, and I have a dull looking wall with white bricks and also a very nice window looking onto the yard. Have you been able to picture it all? Did it help to think of it, exaggerating the concepts? This is a good trick that many interpreters use, so please bear in mind that this is one of the devices you can use even before using note-taking. Okay, now, so you will be hearing the source language text, and you should be recording yourselves. If you have trouble using Tegrity, there should be instructions on Blackboard where you can send me an email. So you will be hearing one sentence, and each time the amount of text will be longer. Once I stop, you should repeat the text into the microphone, including as much info as possible in your target language. So the text A will be in English, please translate into Spanish. Text B will be in Spanish, please translate into English. Once it is completed, please review your recording and mark on the handout that I will send you the info that you remembered or that you did not remember well, and try to use it for future reference. For example, when assessing if you have attained any of the objectives and how you could work a bit more on some of the areas that we've looked at in class. So I will give you a bit of context for text A now. This text is, the context is information about a first visit to the pediatric neuropsychology clinic. Okay, so this is information to patients for a first neuropsychology pediatric clinic visit, excuse me. And we're going to start now. After I finish each segment, you should interpret into Spanish. 1. Before you schedule an appointment, please call your medical insurance. 2. They will give you a number to use when you make the appointment. 3. You can mail your medical, psychological, or school records to us before your appointment. We will be able to review them before your visit. 4. Please arrive early. You can park in the red parking ramp and go to the 4th floor of the medical building. Please allow half an hour for registration. 5. For your first visit, your child will be given some tests that are appropriate for his or her age. The tests will measure your child's language and memory. 6. Other tests will measure attention span, coordination, and behavior. The tests are like schoolwork and games. They will include talking, drawing, and working with puzzles. Seven. The test will take about 2 to 3 hours. Parents are asked not to be present during testing except for very young children. Eight. Please call if you have any questions. Okay, and this is the end of practice text A. Now we're going to do the same, but into English, with practice text B. And it's an ophthalmology interview, and it's a doctor's diagnosis. And this is the context. A woman has gone to see her doctor about blind spots and bright flashing lights she saw when she was driving. I forgot to say this, but you can use notes if you need them. However, this exercise is for visualization and memory. So if you can try not to use notes, that way you're going to be able to practice a bit better the technique that we're trying to practice today. But you are free to do whatever you have to be as accurate as you can. Now I will read in Spanish. After my voice, please interpret into English. 1. Esos puntos ciegos de los que me está hablando usted no son la consecuencia de un tumor cerebral. 2. Creo que la sensación que tuvo usted es lo que llamamos una migraña ocular. Sabe, no es necesario tener un dolor de cabeza para tener migraña. 3. La migraña ocular normalmente empieza con puntos ciegos y muchas veces también hay algunas como luces centelleantes. 4. Si no se detiene este proceso en aquel momento, pasa a ser un dolor de cabeza que después puede pasar a provocar náusea, y a partir de eso se puede producir el vómito. 5. Hay algunos tipos de personalidades que tienen migrañas. Usted tiene los ojos perfectamente sanos. Esto no es un problema ocular. Básicamente, 6. Básicamente, usted ya sabe cuáles son las opciones que tenemos. Justamente no hacer nada es lo que le estoy recomendando que haga. ¿Sabe usted, si le enviáramos a un neurólogo con este historial y con un examen ocular negativo, ningún neurólogo honesto le enviaría a usted a que se haga una resonancia magnética, porque eso sería un despilfarro de $1000. 7. Pero si usted insistiera, por supuesto, eso sería lo que haríamos. Estoy convencido que lo que usted ha experimentado ha sido una migraña ocular. Y, gracias a Dios, no ha evolucionado a un dolor de cabeza, a náuseas y vómitos y ese tipo de cosas. Y supongo que eso es lo que la tenía un poco preocupada. Muy bien, eso es todo, así que cuando terminéis la grabación tendréis que esperar un poquito para que se suba la grabación a Tegrity y podéis ver vuestras grabaciones, escuchar vuestras grabaciones y comparar la interpretación con el guión escrito para que identifiquéis si hay cosas que están bien, si hay cosas que no están tan bien y os sirva para poquito a poquito ir mejorando. Gracias chicos, que tengáis un buen fin de semana.